Hey guys, welcome back to the Bear Trap Podcast. This episode is basically just me showing Vic what I've been working on over the course of the last few months. So yeah, that's it. It's live open interest. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's move on to the other toy that I have actually specially prepared for today, because this is like I basically talked to Jazz and Brad, and I was like, hey, like, can we? Because we have this video, I was like, can we show it yet? And they're like, yeah, okay. So I'm like,
oh, nice.
Let's go, right? So this is like a beta version of the live open interest. Okay. So and that's on the right, and then the price action is on the left. And it's just like price action with the, I mean, you're familiar with this probably. It's the Sierra charts, Gexbot DLL with the levels and stuff.
Yeah, I was using it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so
pretty nice.
Totally prepared for this. So a few things to say sort of before we get into this. This is from 5/15, so whatever this month is, the 15th of this month. What is it? May. 15th of May. And then this is just a particular segment of the day that we were recording, because it's kind of hard. Like we need to figure out a good way to demonstrate kind of the time dimension, which we've been doing. That's why this is like really a beta. But then in terms of visualizing this, this is, when I say live open interest, it means that like as volumes coming in, if those are, like let's say that somebody buys calls, then it's gonna, let's say they buy 4140 calls, then there's gonna be a green bar here, which is gonna move to the right because it's gonna be buys, so it's gonna be positive. Whereas if they were to sell calls, as you can see here, they're sold calls, it goes negative, which you can see down here. Because it's the negative part of the axis. And then the same thing for puts, right? So although the puts are actually flipped, right? So for instance, over here, because you can see that it's 1,000 puts, this is actually sold puts. And then
now that's pretty nice when they're selling the puts.
Oh yeah, you'll see.
Have you been trading with this?
I'll just say I have other things that I trade with.
Okay. So this is just you're just beta testing it. You're not trading with it yet or anything. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's like I can say a couple of things. So most of the days that we've been testing, we only miss around 2% of the daily volume. So like everything except for 2% of the daily volume on SPX gets categorized, which is pretty nice.
Okay.
I'm very confident actually in the categorization methodology.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. Because it relies on some sort of intrinsic truths about market structure. It's sort of like, if it were wrong, then some market maker somewhere would be losing a lot of money every day.
I see what you're saying. Okay. Because it wouldn't. It's not going to fit into their delta neutral strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's another way of putting it. And so, yeah. Anyway, do you have any like? Another thing I should mention is this axis over here. This is actually an ES, so it doesn't line up, unfortunately, with the chart on the left. But the numbers reflect ES. That's why the bars of the histogram aren't at like super clean levels.
I see what you're saying.
It's because they're SPX options, but then the axis is future, because we're trading futures. So
is this a video that you can play that shows us the changes happening in real time?
Yeah, that's the idea, man. I wanted to play it for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take a look at it. All right, so let's figure out. It's this was around noon, so it's 12:22.
Okay.
I'll play it, and then like it's kind of slow, but okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can just.
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of have to watch on the right. Oh, there you go. You see they added some short puts there.
It's fascinating. So as the market's coming down, they're shorting puts, right? Or they're closing puts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're shorting whatever this is between the let's just call them the 4110s. And you see that like as we came down there, they added the short puts, and then it's popping up now. Like price is popping up a little bit. Yeah. I can also fast forward it a little bit so you can see things like moving because it's like an hour long, right? So I think
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, zoom it up. Yeah, turn it on.
2x, 5x. There we go. I feel like 5x is pretty good.
So the 4110s, they're adding, they're taking away. So it almost seems like their strategy during the day was just like, let's just short this bottom of the range here, and just keep collecting this this IV.
And I don't know if you saw, but there were a couple people getting scared here that bought this call. So they're trying to hedge, sorry, this put, they're trying to hedge here. But the majority was just put selling right here. And as price is popping up, you can see how they're gonna take them back off. Oh, did you see how many just came in there?
Yep.
That was nuts.
So is that someone shorting, or is that someone going, flip, man, I gotta get out of this?
No, it's still shorting. So long as it's positive,
shorting. Okay.
It's still shorting. So no panic.
Oh man, that's pretty rad.
The blue line is spot, by the way, on the histogram. Okay, they just shorted more.
And then they're shorting the ladder up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So people are like, yeah, come on, let's just break this 4132, and then they're like, nah, no, we just want to collect.
They're just still adding short. Exactly. Yeah.
That's interesting, man. And so they got like a couple. They got sort of a strategy going on here in a way. Like it seems like they're long put in case it breaks, and then they're shorting the 4110, and they're maybe long the 4150s. Sort of like what would this be, like almost like a broken butterfly or something? What would you call that?
Oh, I think it's just a short.
Really,
it's a
just
short
straight
spread. Yeah.
It's got to be partial. Some of these got to be partial spreads. Right?
Yeah.
Like they're shorting these and then buying something else.
Did you see a ton of them just came off right there?
Yep.
So basically, what happened?
Does.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say? Basically, what happened?
Well, it's that. Oh, there you go.
They collected their premiums and then just bought them back.
Yep, exactly. So they sold them all while everybody thought we were going to sell off, and then as we start to consolidate and price doesn't actually move lower, the premiums die off, and then they buy them back. But
it's so fascinating. Like why or how did they know it wasn't going to sell off? Like, why take the risk there?
I think it's just because the premiums are super juicy at that point. Like now we're coming down really hard, and you'll see them expand them again. They're going to try it again. Pretty sure.
So they're playing the skew, which the skew is always just ridiculous lately in SPX, which is why these Vanna rallies are just so crazy. All right, let's see if they add here.
Yeah.
But why there though? Like, why is that level the level to sell?
So I just think it has to do with the volume profile, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, like I think
they're just playing the range low on the distribution.
Yeah, and look now, like we're crashing, and some of them are bailing, right? Some of them are panicking, but you'll see them add even more.
And they've got a whole ladder set up here, even down into the lower end. The 4090s. Let's just pretend like this is the right scale, but like the 4090s, 4085s. And then just in case it breaks loose, they got 4080s chilling, ready for it. So they're hedged. We're going to short puts and then be hedged.
Yep, exactly. And so basically what will happen, I feel like, is price will come down and they'll just roll. Like if they get caught, they'll just roll their puts lower and lower and lower.
Dirty, man.
Yeah.
It's dirty because it's because like they're just paying for those puts down there with the premium that they're selling up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a free trade in a way. And then it's, obviously it's probably delta neutral too. They're buying it on the other side or selling it on the other side. Like if they're short put, they're going to be shorting, right? To be delta neutral.
If they're short puts, then yeah, they definitely can.
They can. That doesn't mean they will. So that's interesting too. Like, how do you know? Are they delta neutral on these shorts?
I personally don't. I don't think so. I think basically whenever we get to the edge of the range, there's just a lot. I mean, this is literally, they basically trade like Doc, Vic. Like if you,
right.
That's all they're doing.
Dude, I've been doing that lately, and it's just amazing how accurate it is. It's not even that it's accurate. It's just like you just play those outside ranges, and lately it just works like a charm. It doesn't mean it always will, but
well, and that's what's so beautiful about this tool, right? Is you can see live how like it's kind of crazy. I feel like this is like something that we've been wanting to see for so long in a way.
oh,
Or at
for
least I
sure.
have.
Yeah. Live OI. I mean, if you can at least get some either naive version of it or something close to it. Oh, look at that.
Did you see that?
Oh my goodness.
That's what happens when we're really about to make I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? It's like
So that's
all of
gonna
a sudden,
spike it.
yeah, like a bottom's been kind of put in, and so they have the confidence to really go out there and short some out of the money.
So they shorted those and then bought the 4095s or whatever, because that happened at the same time. So it's sort of just like it's just a credit spread.
Dude, you're thinking exactly how I'm thinking about this, which is like I always like to see which of the bars move together to know, because it's like orders are coming in and they hit multiple strikes at the same time. It's kind of crazy.
It's just a fat credit spread, and who knows? Maybe everybody else is doing it too. Like, oh, the whale's doing a credit spread. Let's just do it too.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever read an order,
dude, that would have been a beautiful dip buy if you hit that.
It really was, man. Like right there when you see the spike, a sigma spike, essentially, where you had like 1,000 go to 2,000. That was the big move.
Yeah.
Then you could, man, if you could pair this with like a skew, like a live skew right next to it, and you could really probably get your timing down really good. Or at least see when the whales are coming in. Like, okay, when skew gets to 40% in the puts or whatever, that's when they're selling them. Then you know the bottom's being put in. Compare it up with the Gex bot.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do something like that. What's interesting though is there we go.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
There you go, man. That's pretty sweet. Seeing these guys shorting this all the way up. Look, they're even short above spot, aren't they? Or right at spot at the money.
Yeah, some people are selling at the monies right there.
Oh man, and then you can see where they're going. Right to that 41.50. Or they'll try anyways. This was Friday, you say?
No, this was what date was that? The 16th,
Okay.
Which was.
Let me go look at the 16th real quick, because I sort of remember this price action. That's why I'm saying this. 16. Oh yeah, that was one of them really annoying days. Okay, so that they stop it here and then they'll sell it off the rest of the day. Okay.
I mean, to be honest, I don't even remember. Like, I just had this video to,
Well, I remember because I was going, okay, well, maybe they can squeeze it up to 41.50, and then they reversed it pretty hard.
Mm.
So I think maybe people got greedy on the short puts, and.
Well, I guess we'll see. You can see. It's interesting to see that 40.95-ish strike growing down there as we're coming back down.
Where did they end up taking this down for the day? Let me see here. They brought it to low day, 41.10. Dude, they take it to the 41.10. Can you believe that?
That makes pretty decent sense. Yeah.
So the guys that were shorting it earlier in the day, that's where they ended up taking it at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. But again, if you were short those puts, like, you're not actually losing any money, right?
No, you would have covered by then. I would think.
I mean, yes.
Even if it does come down there, you just hang out and you just go, okay, whatever. Yeah, they go to zero. That's crazy, man. So yeah, the short put, man. Like this is what it is in the market right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is what Ambrose was talking about. That's why, we like with GexBot, we tweeted out. We're like, yeah, like we know, we've been watching this.
Well, it's like, if they know everyone's short, then who's there to buy puts, right? I mean, how much money notionally is there to actually buy 0DTE puts long enough to bring it lower? You might as well just be short VIX in a way, short Beta.
Exactly. Everyone's piling in to that side because they also know that if they short puts, they're going to drive the market up. And so it's a huge sort of like giant rigged game. As usual with the market, it's like who's going to be the last one, in the musical chairs or whatever.
Is it really rigged though? Because I mean, what is the trade right now? It's like everybody's positioned for mega crash, And this is just the trade because that's where it's super expensive. Who's going to come in every single day and load 0DTE puts, especially if it's just a nothing day?
Well, one of the things that I have noticed though is that there's usually somebody holding a ton of really far out of the money puts every single day into close that expire worthless.
Yeah.
And today it's probably going to be those the 4095s here.
Are those new positions? I mean, right here it looks like those would be because I'm zero would essentially be the opening OI, right?
Yeah, so in here we're not actually including open interest, like the beginning of the day open interest into the calculations. And the reason is because we're trying to look at it, at least in this very particular case, we'll probably release something else, but we're just trying to look at it as a sort of like an order flow tool, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
See, my other buddy's working on it, but he relates it back to the beginning of the day OI. And you see the changes from that OI to what the new one basically.
Yeah.
And you're just tracking the percentages and key strikes. Pretty cool concept. I'll have to show it to you. I keep saying that, but I just never do. But I will show it to you eventually.
Well, I've tweeted tweeted at him. I don't know what that's.
Oh, okay, good. You've seen it then. Okay.
Yeah. And he explained the visuals to me. I don't know what he's doing on the back end, obviously, but. Oh, is that it? That's our whole video, man. I didn't even realize. Oh man, yeah.
All right, cool. That was really cool, man, to see that. Obviously, we're not watching until the end of the day on that, but that's okay. We got to see sort of like that middle day vol crush, and all these puts are just getting paid all day long, man, as that market chops around.
Yeah. I will say the other interesting thing is that whoever was holding on to these 4155, 4160s up here, or actually these are all short calls, by the way, right? Because they're
short call.
Negative.
So so they're short put, short call. They've got it pinned effectively.
Yeah, and I can scroll through like this so we can kind of like see how it. Basically, they're just adding short put, short call throughout the day, even as we're selling off. And then
why short the call?
The local bottom.
Was skew also favorable to short calls?
I don't even think it's because of that. I just think it's because it's so far out of the money that, like, let's say if you're short puts, right, that means that you're long deltas. So if you want to, like, instead of hedging, if you want to make even more money on your bet while hedging yourself, it's very efficient to be shorting a far out of the money call.
Who is this entity? I mean, is it one entity here, or is it just like one and then a bunch of followers? People like, oh, let's just follow this guy, because I've heard that in order flow. Like if you're watching the tape, like the level 2, you got to find the market maker that's in control. Like is it Goldman Sachs, or is it like Citadel or whoever, in ARK? And you got to find out which one is moving the market, because there's always a manipulator or an operator, and you basically just follow what they're doing.
Well, the reality is a little mixed, right? Like, have you we talked about Bookmap before, right? You've been watching Bookmap on occasion.
I used to. I mean, I'm just using Sierra charts now, but yeah, I mean, I used to watch Bookmap all the time.
Well, in any case, like a lot of times it'll happen, right? Like you'll have somebody at a particular level, and clearly they'll just like submit an order all of a sudden for, I don't know, 1,000 lots or something like that. And so then all of a sudden everybody knows, oh, there's a passive buyer or passive seller at this level. And then all of a sudden people are going to start to position themselves around that specific level. So I think that the way that options trading intraday kind of develops is that there'll be a very specific strike which will start to get hit. And then when that strike gets hit a lot, because of the dynamics of the like Greeks, right, the gamma and the vana and whatever of it, what'll start to happen is that more people will start to form themselves around those really big strikes in very specific ways, in the same way as you would see an order flow on like Bookmap.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's just that it happens over the course of an entire day, more so than just over the course of 2 or 3 minutes, which were like on futures.
What's interesting is that the gamma, the major levels over here on the left side line up pretty much with what you guys are doing, and it just makes sense, right? I mean, those are the big OIs, so those are going to be the most sensitive. But so that's interesting. Like, you don't really need the tool in a way. It's super nice because you know which side they're on and why those levels are major. But yeah, you wouldn't really need it, right?
I mean, man, it's like it's kind of like any one of these tools, right? Where it's like we've always said, right? You can just you can trade with a naked chart and make money if you want to, if you really if you really want to. I think it's more a thing of like, it kind of increases your confidence. Like, let's say that you're in a trade and you know that they're selling puts underneath you, right? And you're long. You're gonna feel way more comfortable knowing that that's there.
Yeah, like you're chilling, right? You're chilling.
Yeah. So I mean,
man, that's cool, man. I'm not trying to dog it or anything. I'm just going, well, if it's like saying the same thing, I guess it's kind of redundant in a way. But right. I mean, if like the major level is all long calls, well, then that's probably what you would want to know too, right?
Well,
because it's kind of like this naive. You got this naive gamma level. Well, if it's all short call, then you don't want to be messing around trying to buy it.
Exactly, right. If you're just looking at this and you see that SPX is selling off, and then you're looking at the volume. I mean, I don't do this, but let's say you're looking at the volume on those puts and you see that the volume is spiking, and you're in panic mode, you could interpret that as, oh my God, everybody's rushing into puts, right?
So I think I know what happened though here. By the end of the day, if you go look at the chart of SPX, by the end of the day, it dumped. And so effectively that was all these short puts just buying their puts back.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And that's what happened. So for instance, the last couple of days on SPX, like I was watching this a little bit, and what happened was it was literally the same dynamic in reverse. So people were short calls, and the big one was the 4180 strike. And for instance, and they were still holding their short calls as we were at the money, and then they got squeezed. So what's really nice about this is that it's like, yes, you can definitely just see it with gamma exposure, but at the same time, you can see that they're still in those calls, right? That they're about to get squeezed. So you can kind of get a feel for that. Which is cool.
I am a fan of it. Okay, because I think anything that is tracking OI, open OI and closing of OI, and then being able to categorize it like this, it's fantastic. I mean, I would like, if I had a choice here though, I would use this OI versus the GEX bot.
That's what we've been thinking about, which is like, we don't know if
it's just easier to read. It's just easier, the positioning. It's just so much easier to see it. The gamma, you have to make a lot of assumptions, in my opinion, with gamma. So
well, the thing is, we can do gamma exposure without any assumptions with this, right? So that's the thing that's the next sort of iteration that we built, which is just using live OI, including the beginning of the day OI, and then having basically a running count of how many contracts are open at any given point in time, and then doing gamma exposure of that.
Gotcha. Yeah, now that's next level right there. That's pretty sick, dude. Wow. Pretty cool. This is the end game for, I think, most traders, is finding this tool that tracks OI. Because that's the thing, man. You don't get to watch it live. If you can't watch it live, then it's only good for the first morning, effectively, right?
Yeah.
First part of the morning.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the day, you have no idea what the OI picture looks like.